The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. From the 33, here's 2nd and 5. Now they'll run. It's Ken Walker. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there, 2nd down. The numbers for Walker from last week's effort, 16 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown.
And those numbers have both he and his blockers motivated this week. They saw that yardage total climbing, but stopped short of 100. Every one of them has to be driven this week to help him reach the century mark.
They run again with Walker, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? Back to throw. And that is incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
The Seahawks send out their punter. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Vikings as they get set for their first drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback now in his 3rd season in the league.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Throwing is McCarthy. And it's out. He put it on the carpet. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. They were forced to punt last time. Now, I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
That's complete to Peoples-Jones. So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to bring up 2nd down. From the gun, it's Walker. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Jackson Smith-Njigba. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Seahawks use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his 2nd season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. Now ETN to start the drive. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, terrific last week in the season opening victory.
This defense certainly has a lot to be proud of coming off of last week's game, because when you only give up 14 points in a contest, you give your team a great chance to win. The best defense in the league is usually going to average giving up 18, 19 points a game. So to be under that, a terrific achievement.
On 1st and 10, it's ETN. And some pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. 12 yards there, 1st down Vikings. Working out of the gun is McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll bring up 2nd down. At the Seahawks 39-yard line. A give running right, ETN. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. To the air with McCarthy. Work in the middle of the field, and he's getting there complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 26.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a 1st down.
They'll try the left side with ETN. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. The Vikings had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that, because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine.
Jefferson going to go in motion right. And they'll run with ETN. Puts it on the carpet, it's out. And that is well read there defensively. He was looking to use his speed to get the edge, but they said no way. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football. Very fortunate to get another shot. Here's 2nd and goal. Straight ahead, ETN. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes him from the 10 down to the 6. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do?
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings are an extra point away from evening this one up. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. So I'll leave it at 7 now as they kick it away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Seattle now ready to march onto the field. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd down and a yard. Straight ahead, Walker. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. And Walker once more. And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. 51 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Targeting the out route, and he completes this to Metcalf. And down inside the 15 he goes. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Walker now on 1st and 10. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
2nd and 11. Oh, and that is incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense, because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
Flush to, and a big loss here as he's taken down. Darrell Taylor got in there to drop him. So this defense, they gave up some yards on this drive, but bottom line, they came up with a sack when it mattered.
And we know that every down counts, but let's be honest about it. People focus on 3rd down as a real key down in any drive, any situation. And they took full advantage of 3rd down there and made a play.
On comes the Seahawk kicker here on 4th down. It's Jason Myers. It'll come from the right hash. It's a 47-yard attempt. Myers' kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Vikings ready to go again on offense. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 6 at the 31-yard line.
A give to Etienne running right. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down on his play sheet, trying to dial up a big third down play.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7 our score. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. McCarthy off the play fake. He lets one go deep for Addison. And that's caught inside the 35. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them.
Still third down.
What do they have for this? 3rd and 11. Running out of the gun with Etienne. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. The Vikings send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. 2nd and 11 now. They'll set up to throw. A quick throw there is incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
On 3rd down, here's Walker. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Vikings going to take over now late in this first half. With this slim deficit closing in on the end of the first half, we'll see if they can move this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 out of this drive. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. From the shotgun, McCarthy. That's caught. It's a rookie from Alabama. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Now this offense hoping to avoid the 0-2 start. They trail, but they've got a 1st and 10 here. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Here's 2nd and 3. Sticking with the pass, here's McCarthy. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And his kick is absolutely perfect. But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about.
That penalty is declined.
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll get our tour started out at venerable Soldier Field in Chicago, and it's the Packers who have the lead in that one. Jordan Love, responsible for the lone touchdown in the game thus far as he's thrown a touchdown pass. From there, it's off to the land to check on the Browns at home in the Dog Pound. And they trail in their ball game at halftime to the visiting Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young with 2 touchdown passes there. Lastly, let's motor up to the Motor City. See what's happening with the Lions at home at Ford Field. And they were winners in that ball game over the visiting New Orleans Saints. Jared Goff, 3 touchdown passes as his guys moved to 2-0 on the young season. We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference.
Okay, Coach, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Now the Vikings offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic, no need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
Here now, 2nd and 4.
At the 32-yard line.
Now McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. There no play action. Here's McCarthy. He'll drop this one off with ETN.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Over the middle and complete to Addison. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. They'll run with ETN. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. They lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Pretty straightforward play there by the linebacker. He saw the run, went with straight-ahead pursuit, and dumped him behind the line of scrimmage.
The Vikings send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return, and it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. They go play action here on 1st down. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
And that went to the right side and incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Probably for once in my life, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. Etienne. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Looking to throw McCarthy. That's going to be caught by Rivers. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
On play action, now McCarthy. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to get it back here just shy of the 20. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection. And now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Here's Walker to start the drive. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. It's the former number 4 overall pick, Cleveland Thorold, and got him there to bring him down. Well, that time, it looked like he essentially just ran right into the pass rush.
Yeah, partner, I'm not much of an outdoorsman, but the fish jumped right into the net, didn't he? Because you've got to make sure that you're deep enough that you can get around the defensive end, have an angle there. But he couldn't do it because he actually cut that one off. Really nice play coming off the edge.
So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. The Vikings offense and J.J. McCarthy getting ready to go back to work. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. 12 yards there, first down Vikings. Jefferson going to go in motion right. Etienne up the middle. And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33. 58 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Final minute now in the third quarter. Here's McCarthy. And it's incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain.
It certainly appears that he's been able to get a read on how they've wanted to contain him in this game. He's seen some places where he can beat them in big spots, and right there, he slides in with ease for the first down.
Here's the first carry of the game for Cam Akers. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. All even as we get ready to start the fourth. Here's a give to Etienne. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
That run wasn't a big breaker, but I don't think the guys on offense mind very much. They've got a nice drive going, and they might just be luring the defense in a little bit. They could probably come back with a play action, maybe go over the top. But right now, on this drive, their playbook is open.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they can afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly what that penalty does.
Smith and Jigba hauling it in on the out route. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Running right, here's Walker. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
But that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working. But how about his vision to see where the play was going, crashed down inside, and tackled him for a loss.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
Partner, I like the play call coming right after a tackle for a loss because this is an obvious passing situation. But instead, they fooled them a little bit with the screen, and they wound up getting back what they lost and then a little bit more.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. He'll look to throw. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here. And one of the reasons they lead in the fourth quarter, plays like that.
Yeah, it took a little more time off the clock, making him do it that way, didn't it?
So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down the defense.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. And we essentially have a brand new ball game. After that last field goal has tied us all up, we brace for what should be an exciting rest of this fourth quarter. On play action, McCarthy. And this one is incomplete.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
A handoff for Etienne. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
And forcing completion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34. The Vikings send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. Call it an even 40-yard punt, 7 though on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the fourth quarter. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. And his throw here is incomplete. He was unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
This feels like a late season game, even though it's just week 2. Here's a big 3rd down. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble, and the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Well, that's unfortunate because he had a nice run going, but give credit to the defense. They got a hand in the cookie jar there, CD.
You have to think about vision, finding a place to get down after you know you've gotten all you can out of a run. And obviously, ball security is paramount. In today's football, everyone's coming after the rock. You've got to make sure you protect it and protect the yardage you just gained.
The Vikings head out to take over once again. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Open man is Naylor. He's got it. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Oh, look at this. It's intercepted. And what a return as he brings this all the way back down to the 20-yard line. So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really, it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle by the QB.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They are in field goal range here already. How do you handle this situation? Tie game.
In a perfect scenario, you want to find a way to get the ball to the proper spot for your field goal kicker. They always have preferences. And you want to bleed the clock down so that when you do kick it, as the ball's going through the post,
zeros.
The clock hits zeros.
Here we go. First and goal. Here's Walker. Showed off the toughness, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. They run again with Walker. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. From the 5, third and goal. But defensively, that's a nice stop there on third down here in the fourth quarter. Now, offensively, kicking the field goal, taking the lead, right?
It certainly appears that way, doesn't it? Especially since you got stopped on the previous play. But if you've got something you really like, something that you've practiced all week, and you think, hey, this is the time to use it, this is the play, I wouldn't be deterred. I would gamble a little bit and go for it right now.
Myers' kick is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. And I tell you, when it comes to needing a field goal in closing seconds, pressure situation, there's something to be said for having a veteran kicker trot out there.
Agreed. It's so nice to have someone you can rely on, someone who you know has done it before. And this guy's as cool as they come, isn't he?
Here's first and 10.
At their own 24-yard line.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. So the game will continue for at least one more play.
To not finish a game on a defensive penalty, that's why they get one more untimed attempt.
And his kick is good. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. And we have free football overtime. Here we go, my friend.
And the way this game played out, this is exactly how it should end, going to overtime, because neither one got an advantage today.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So it's the Seahawks who are going to get the first crack at things. They'll possess it to start things off here in overtime. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Seahawks offense and Kenneth Walker set to take over once more. And he's had his fair share of troubles in this one, unfortunately. This defensive front has wreaked havoc throughout the contest, and he hasn't been able to create enough space to make something positive happen to this point. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Well, they fought hard to reach this point, Charles, and now what an opportunity. They've got the ball first, a chance to take this overtime win away from the hostile crowd.
And you know, as the quarterback steps into the huddle, the first thing he's telling his team is, remember, we need 6, not 3. So we don't need a good drive. We need a great drive. And this is what they've been planning for. It's time to execute and take it downfield, even against all these odds.
99 yards rushing for him now as he was just trying to will his guys to an overtime victory.
And the Seahawks first down.
Walker with another carry. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 8 yards on the pickup, but now they'll have some options on second and short. From the gun, it's Walker. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So a big play in this opening drive of overtime. Now looking at a 3rd and 3. Now a first throw here in overtime. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
On 3rd and short, not only did he get away from the rush and pick up a first down, he picked up a whole lot more than that. And how did he get it done? Evaded the rush, kept his poise, and then how about him directing traffic as he moved downfield to pick up extra blockers? A really nice run.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Out right to Smith-Njigba. So nothing doing there, and it's 2nd down. I don't want to overhype it, but this is a big early season game, especially in overtime win. That could give you a big boost going forward in the season.
It certainly can, and I don't think you're overhyping it because cliches go out the window when you start to play overtime. And you're right, the winner of this game now, that's an extra boost moving forward. And it actually is an extra hurt for the team that loses because normally you shake it off. But in this situation, it lingers a little bit longer.
2 minutes left in this overtime session and still all tied. This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. They'll try for the first with Walker. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot has been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They've had some success here in overtime on this opening drive running the football. Right back to that well.
And why not? When you have that kind of success, make them stop you, and until they do, keep going back to that well you just spoke about. I think there's more water there and available to them.
We'll play only the one overtime here. If time runs out, it'll be a tie as they come up on 2nd down. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. 2nd and manageable became 3rd and long. The drive marching to the end zone is one play from stalling out.
And the Vikings are going to beef up their secondary here. 6 DBs on 3rd. They'll set up a throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
Myers' kick is good, and they have regained the lead. Now remember, this one is not over, but with the time running short here in this overtime, that could very well be the game winner.
Yeah, remember now, the other team does get a possession, but when the clock runs out, that's it. So that was a well-calculated drive to use up the majority of the clock and leave your opponent with little to no time left.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. Well, it's pretty simple now. They need a field goal out of this drive to extend overtime or obviously, Charles, a touchdown to win it.
Yeah, and I'm taking the defense's perspective on this one, partner, because now they know with a 3-point lead, they can afford to give that up because you just keep playing, right? The overtime gets extended. But if you give up the touchdown, it's game over. So on offense, every play you make, you've got to try and get just a little bit more out of each one in order to try and get...
Oh, it's intercepted. That'll seal it. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. So we've had a made field goal on one side, a made field goal on the other, and now the costly interception, Charles, as this overtime session continues.
Can you believe it? Both teams were matching each other point for point, kick for kick. Now one big mistake here in overtime,
And that could end it, because if he gets a chance to kick a field goal here and win it, oh, the smiles on that sideline will be huge.